Hey beautiful people, you're welcome. In today's tutorial, we're learning how to make this skirt. This is a skirt and a short. That is, we attached a skirt to a short. So it's called skirts. So it's like a wrap skirt in front of a short. So if this is something you would love to learn, please stick around as we dive into the tutorial. This is Naomi and you're welcome to my channel, Sew with Naomi. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I love you. If you are just coming across my channel, please do well to subscribe and join the family. Okay, so for this tutorial, I'll be making use of our pattern paper. We'll be making use of our tape, our pencils for drafting, scissors, and our fabric, our main fabric. So here I have 1 yard of African print fabric. I have 1 yard and 7 inches. 1 yard and 7 inches of African print fabric, and that is what we'll be using for this sewing project. So you know me now as manager of fabric manager. All right, so let's dive into the tutorial. So first things first, we have to draft our pattern for the short. So first of all, you need to create a borderline. But before that, these are the measurements that we'll be needing for the shorts. You need your waist measurements. We're working with a waist of 31. We need your waist to hip measurements, and that's the length, and that's 10 inches for this. We need the crotch depth. Mine is 12 inches, and you need the short length. Mine is 18 inches. So we also need the hip measurement. For this, it is 42 inches. So the next thing we're going to do now is establish a straight line so that we can have our workspace for the short. So to get your straight line, just place the edge of your pattern paper on the edge of your paper. You place the edge of your pattern master on the edge of your paper and then connect for a straight line. Then the next thing I want to do now is mark 2 inches. 2 inches. We mark 2 inches from that line down. We'll be using that later on. So we'll be taking all our measurement from that 2 inches. That 2 inches is our starting line. So we'll be taking all our measurements from the 2 inches. Okay. So now I'll be subtracting 1.5 for band. So the band height is going to be 1.5. So from there, I'm going to take the length of my short. The length of my short is going to be 16.5 because I have subtracted 1.5 for the band. So what I marked there was 16.5. I have 16.5 there as the length of my short. So that is the length. The next line I'm going to mark is my waist to hip line. Now I'm going to subtract the 1.5 to mark my waist to hip line, which is 10 inches. I'm going to mark 10 inches and connect all the way. After the waist to hip line, to get your waist to hip line, just place your tape on your waist and then you measure it up onto the point where you have the fullest part of the hip. So the next line I'm marking is the crotch depth line. To get your crotch depth, you divide your hip measurement by 4 and add 1.5. So my hip is 42, divided by 4 is 10.5, and when you add 1.5 you get 12. So that is what I measured there, 12 inches for my crotch depth. Another method you can use is sit on a plain surface like a plain chair, and then you measure from your waist to where to the top of the chair. That's the other method you can use. So the next thing we are going to mark on our pattern now is our hip measurement divided by 4, and we are going to mark it on the crotch depth line, on the hip line, and on the waistline. So your hip measurement divided by 4, you're going to mark the measurement on your crotch depth line, hip line, and your waistline, and then we are going to connect it with a straight line. So the next thing we are going to do is get our crotch extension. For the crotch extension for the front, we are going to be dividing our hip measurement by 20. So a hip measurement divided by 20, I got 2.1. So for this, we'll be extending the front crotch by 2.1 inches. So for your front crotch extension, you do your hip divided by 20 and put down the measurement. So at the crotch, we'll be going up at an angle of 1 inch, and then we're just going to connect the curve. And that's how you get your crotch curve for the front. You do an extension by dividing your hip measurement by 20. Whatever you get, you put it down, and then you go out at an angle of 90 degrees by 1 inch and connect the curve. I hope I'm making sense. So at the waistline, we are going to put down our waist measurement. Our waist is 31. We're going to divide it by 4 and put the measurement we have on our waistline. So at this point, if you want to add a dart to your short, you can go ahead and do that. Just add 1 inch for your dart, and then you connect it to your hip line. But I won't be adding that to this, so I'm just going to connect the waist measurement to the hip measurement. After this, we're going to go up on the waist by ½ inch and connect it to the center front. Yes, that is like to slope the waist. Okay, so the next thing we want to do now is measure what we have on our crotch line, and then we are going to use that to form our crease line in order for us to have a straight line for our crease. So that measurement I have there, I'm going to impute it on the hem. So that is half of the measurement, that's the midpoint. I divided what I have, and then I put it on the hem. So on the hem line, I'm going to impute your round hem. That's if you took the measurement on your body while taking the measurement, whatever you have. I had 23. So I'm just going to divide that into 4 and put the measurement on each side. That is 23 into 4. I have into 2, I have 11.5, and into 4, I have 5.75 on each side. So that is what I have. After doing that, you are going to connect it to the crotch line. So that's what this is practically all for the front. So we are done with the front, and then we are going to be drafting the back pattern. For the back pattern, we'll be drafting it on the front pattern. So I'm just going to change the marker so that we would not be confused and know the difference between the front and the back. So the first thing we want to do is establish our center back line. To do that, we are going to be coming in at the crotch area. So on the crotch line, we are going to come in by 1 inch. On the crotch depth line, we'll come in by 1 inch, and on the waistline, we'll come in by 2 inches and connect with a straight line. This will serve as our center back line. Now we can see that the back is not straight. It has like a sloped shape, the bum I mean. So that is why we are slanting this part to give us that nice shape at the back. So for the back crotch extension, we are going to be doing our hip measurements divided by 10. So remember, for the front it was divided by 20. For the back, we'll be dividing it by 10. So your hip measurement divided by 10. That's what you'll be using for your back crotch extension. For mine, it was 4.2. So from that center back line, I'm just going to mark 4.2 for my crotch extension, and also do the 90° by 1 inch angle to get the curve. And then voila, we have our back crotch curve. So the next thing we want to do now is mark our waist measurement. Before we do that, we are going to go up by 1.5 for our back rise. That's to enable the back cover properly because of the bum. So if you're between a small size to, like, if you're between the hip 35 to 40, you can use 1 inch. 40 to 43, 44, you can use 1.5. From 45 above, use 2 inches please. So after the marking your body rise, we are going to mark our waist measurement slanted from the body rise to the hip to the waistline. So you're going to place your tape and mark where you have your waist measurement divided by 4. Then at that point, you stop your line. The next thing I want to do is at the hip line, you mark your hip measurement divided by 4. Remember, you start taking your measurement from the center back line. That is this red marker line. That's our center back line. And please remember, after that, you are going to bring that same measurement down on the hip, on the crotch line. The same measurement you have at the hip, just put it down at the crotch line. And then at the hem, we are going to go out by ½ inch. We are going to add ½ inch to what we have in the front. For the side and for the inseam, we are just going to add ½ inch to what we have in front and connect to the crotch measurement. Just as you see me doing, just connect it that way. Also at the side. Now at the crotch depth, you're going to be coming down by ½ inch. Come down by ½ inch at the crotch depth and connect. Okay, so you're going to connect the side also from the ½ inch at your hem to your crotch depth line. And then remember to blend the lines so you don't have a sharp hip. So this is our back pattern and that's the front pattern. So we are going to be using our tracing wheel to trace out one or trace out the two, and then have this as your master pattern, whichever you choose to do. So you could decide to keep this as a master pattern and trace out both on a fresh paper, or you can decide to just trace out one and keep the red and use the other one. That's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to trace out the front pattern for this, and then we'll be using the other side as the back pattern. Okay, so after tracing with the tracing wheel, you go ahead and use your marker or pencil to make it obvious so we can cut out the pattern and transfer to fabric. So here it is. I have transferred the pattern to fabric. This is the front. I have ½ inch at the top, ½ inch at the inseam center. Then I have 1 inch at the side and 1 inch at the down. Same with the back. For the back, I have 0.75 for the zipper allowance, and then continued with ½ inch all the way down, 1 inch at the side and 1 inch at the down. for the hemming. So we'll start with the front pattern. We are going into the sewing now. We'll start with the front. So for the front, we'll just go in and let's make the pattern for the skirt first. So to do that, we're just going to connect this our center front line all the way down. That is, we are taking off the crotch extension to make it a skirt. So we are just going to cut this off. After cutting this off, we'll place this on our fabric and get the skirt. This is practically the skirt part. So we're just going to place it on our fabric to get the skirt. Okay, so I was just looking for the right position for the skirt. Remember that I was managing the fabric. So after getting where I wanted to use for the skirt parts, I'm just going to pin this down, and then I'm going to add 3 inches to the hem. If you look closely at the skirt, it has like one part is longer than the short. So I want to give that allowance for the asymmetric line on the skirt. So I'm trying to get 1 inch at the side so I don't have a shortage for my seam allowance. So that's what I was just doing here. So I'm going to have 3 inches at the hem, and then 1 inch at the side and ½ inch upwards, and I'm going to cut that. Alright, so we have our pattern for the front, we have the short, and then we have the skirts. So we are going to go and sew. We'll sew on ½ inch to close the center front crotch area with ½ inch, and then we'll continue from there. So I have done that. I have gone ahead to sew the crotch area with ½ inch which we left. The next thing we want to do now is get our skirt and place it on the short so we can make some alterations on the skirt before we proceed. Then if you look at the inspirational picture, you would notice that the skirt part is longer a bit than the short, and then it doesn't wrap all the way to the side. It stops like the middle of one side. So here I just want to shape in the side to give it the asymmetric look, and then we are going to turn it over to the front and reduce the side for the skirt. So at the top, I'm going to be going in by 3 inches at the top. I'll go in by 3 inches, and at the bottom, at the hem, I'll go in by 6 inches. So at the top, we go in by 3 inches, and at the bottom, at the hem, we'll go in by 6 inches. Yes. So, and then we'll connect with a line, and we're going to be cutting that off. So we'll be cutting this off to give us that asymmetric look in front, the wrap, the first wrap look in front, skirt wrap. So after this, we'll go and fold. You fold your skirt at the side, you fold the hem also, and then you stitch down on the short. You're going to be stitching that down on the short. Now there's a belt on it, so we'll just go and create a belt. Like, fold a piece of fabric. This fabric, I think the width was 1.25. Yes, 1.25. So we're having 2 of this. You can make your belt as big as you want it to be. Remember, I was managing my own fabric, so your belt can be as wide as you want it to be. But for this, I made use of 1.25. Yes, so we'll have two pieces of for the belt. Okay, so we're here. We're just going to go and stitch the skirt down on the short. So after doing that, we're going to fold the side, stitch down the top, stitch down the side. But remember that you are going to fold the hem of the skirt first. You have to hem the skirt first, and then we'll hem the down after joining to the back. Okay, so that's it. And then for the back would go and stitch down with a loose stitch on the zipper line, and then stitch down the remaining half-inch part. We'll be joining the sides and then hemming it down. Okay, so I just wanted to show us a quick trick or tip on how to remove these fabric stickers without having that sticky feeling on it anymore. So you're going to take your machine oil. And then you're going to put some oil on the back part, the wrong side of your fabric. Put some oil on the wrong side of your fabric, and then we are going to be peeling off the stickers. Like when you do this, the stickers would come off totally, and you would not have any sticky feeling on the fabric. Like that glue, when you sew on it, your needle gets sticky and then your thread starts to break. But when you use this trick to remove the stickers, I tell you, you won't have any sticky feeling on the fabric. Like, it will be as good as there was no sticker on it. So let me know in the comment section, have you tried this hack before? Have you used this method to remove your sticker, or you're just seeing this for the first time? Let me know in the comment section. I want to know if this is your first time of seeing this hack, or if you've been doing this prior to this time. So there we go. We have absolutely no stickiness on the fabric, so you can go ahead and sew without your thread cutting. So whenever this sticker gets into the fabric you want to use, just do this trick. Put your machine oil on it, and then just it come off easily. Okay, so after doing this, I'm just going to take a piece of fabric and dab the oil on the skirt, and then we're good to go. Alright, so I've gone ahead to join everything. I've sewn the back together, I've joined the sides, I've attached the belt. The belt, I came down by 5.5 inches from the top. So from the top I measured 5 inches from the top, and then attached the belt. So 5 inches from the top, and then you attach your belt, and then I have closed the side also. And the next thing we're going to do is go and join the inseam. So we're going to close the inseam with 1/2 inch, and then we are going to be hemming the down parts. Turn the hem with the 1 inch allowance we left, and then we are going to fix our band. We're going to be fixing the band. To fix the band, you measure what you have on your waist, and then you cut it on the strip, and then the width of the band is 4 inches. 4 inches. Remember, we took out 1.5 for the band, and then we are going to be hemming 1/2 inch on both sides. So when you measure what you have on your shorts for your waist, that's what will be the length, and then the width will be 4 inches. On fold, you have 2 inches, so 1/2 inch in, you'll be left with 1.5, which is the band height. So after cutting this, you go ahead and put your stay on the fabric, your hair stay or your paper stay on the fabric, and then you sew it and add the zipper and fix your zipper. So here we are. I have gone ahead to do all that. I have hemmed the down, I've joined the inseam, hemmed it down, and also fixed the band. I have fixed the band and also installed my zipper. So this is it. This is how it's looking. So pretty. This is how it came out. So I'm just going to put this on for you to see what it looks like. This is what we have. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, like, share, and do not forget to subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.